The very best way for you to make your shift to the next level is to upgrade your passions and goals to projects and systems, and to recommit to your learning and development. And more than that, just to get a little bit strategic, your L&D is one of the most important vehicles that you have at your disposal to making a successful shift in any area of life and any area of work. I mean, think back now to all the transitions that you've successfully stepped through. Think of the major projects that you've successfully executed and the key goals that you've achieved. And notice what a fundamental role learning, development, and personal growth played in those successes. And now let's turn that around. Take a moment to reflect on your L&D over the past 9 months just gone and the 15 months to come. So a 2-year window. Think about the strategy that you're committed to and the approach that you're taking. And now ask yourself, is my approach here an investment or a cost? Because there's nothing in between. There's no such thing as no strategy and no such thing as no impact. So if your answer to the question of investment or cost was, well, I don't have a strategy, know that the absence of a strategy is actually harming your development and growth and leaving massive potential on the table. My name's Dan Beverley. I'm a leadership and performance coach and founder of TSP Academy. And in today's session, we're going to uncover some of the hidden truths about our personal strategies that every top performer needs to know about. We're going to bring into awareness the significant cost of running a default strategy that keeps success out of our lives. And we're going to talk about how to begin crafting the kind of intentional strategies that will give you newfound momentum towards your goals. Now, let's start here. In my private client sessions, I often ask, how are you doing the thinking, the behavior, the result? A client might be struggling with a lack of confidence, and I'll ask, how are you doing lack of confidence? Or their challenge might be winning promotion. I've been trying year on year and I'm just not getting promoted. Okay, how are you doing not getting promoted? Or there's some other obstacle in the way, and I'll ask them, how are you doing the thinking? And initially, I get blank stares. They're like, what do you mean, how am I doing lack of confidence? It's not intentional. Or, what do you mean, how am I doing the thinking? I don't do thinking. It just kind of happens. But then, after a little reflection, they see the strategy and they get it. We have strategies for everything, including our dysfunctions and including anything for which we insist we don't have a strategy. We have strategies for everything. And so there's no such thing as no strategy. There is only intentional strategy or strategy by default. And when it comes to your learning and development, that default strategy is costly because it's reactive and not based on my long-term objectives. It's sporadic with a peak and trough approach that lacks consistency, and it's uncoordinated, lacking any kind of cohesion. It doesn't quite fit together. And when your strategy, default or otherwise, is not based on long-term objectives but short-term urgencies, when it lacks consistency and has no cohesion about it, it's simply less effective. It becomes a low-return activity that's nevertheless consuming your precious time, energy, and attention and limiting your potential. Think now of your key goals and your major ambitions for the near future, and take a moment to notice how impactful it will be if we just wander into life with nothing but a default strategy that's reactive, sporadic, and uncoordinated. And take a moment to notice any projects which have stalled or goals on which you're stuck, and know that there's a strategy in there somewhere keeping success out of your life. And they will, because all strategies are perfect for the results that they're getting. Just take a moment to absorb the wisdom of that statement. Now, why do most people make this mistake? Well, it's a mistake of omission. It's a consequence of busyness and increasing demands on our time. And it's a product of the limited value placed on personal and professional development by companies, by the world at large, and by ourselves. There are a myriad examples everywhere you look that say we don't value personal development. But I want to let you know there is an effective, time-efficient, and results-focused way to get strategic about your development and growth without overly sacrificing standing commitments and certainly without compromising mental well-being and life balance. Now, some may be thinking, I'm just too busy. It's not worth the effort. This isn't a priority right now. You can't get strategic with this stuff. But I invite you to challenge those points of resistance, because getting strategic is a net time saver that will maximize your time, energy, and focus. You'll waste far more effort without a well-conceived strategy in place. Not a priority? Well, what could be more important than your development and growth? And as for the thought you can't get strategic, well, you can. You just don't want to believe it. Now, if you can entertain the idea of getting strategic in your development and growth, you'll once again get crystal clear and aligned with your key goals and your major projects. You'll maximize your investments of time, energy, and focus, and you'll bake in the kind of consistency which accelerates your learning, emboldens actions, and amplifies your results, which are just some of the reasons we're so big on strategy inside the TSP community. And if, like our members, you're ready to start getting a little more intentional about your strategic approach, here are 3 key points of reflection we love to give our members to help them kickstart their strategic thinking, and which you might like to apply to your own situation. Beginning with, what would progression of this look like? If this were a journey, what would that journey be? And from there, if we were to get strategic, time efficient, and results focused, what new investments need to be made and what existing costs need to be removed? Remember, a world-class strategy is within everyone's reach. Now, I hope today's insights on those points of reflection will serve you well as you begin to challenge yourself to think a little differently about your approach to your key goals and your major projects, and to your learning and development as one of the most important vehicles you have to making your shift to a new level. Now, please do leave a comment and let us know what's been your most valuable piece of learning today and your personal commitment to yourself to get strategic about your development and growth.